In this video, we'll be sharing all things anxiety, and Hettie here will be sharing her personal story and some of the things that she has learnt from that, sharing some tips for you on anxiety on all sorts of different levels and all sorts of different experiences. We hope it is really helpful for anyone watching this and that you will enjoy. Welcome to our safe space to explore the big issues of life and faith in local schools in the Southport community and online.
My name is Hettie and this is Tabz.
Yo.
And we are local youth workers who often spend time in local schools or sending you videos like this one. We are a friendly face and someone to help you to explore the big issues of life and faith.
And so here's another video that we've chopped from our YouTube channel today that you hopefully will find helpful in school.
Got on the high chair all right. I always worry that because I'm quite short. I've had some ups and downs with anxiety over the years. It was something that started primarily when I had a really stressful situation in my life, and I ended up going on stress leave from work for a few weeks, and that kind of triggered something in me that left me feeling quite worried, quite anxious. My mind was struggling. I was really finding it hard to think. I was having headaches. And the whole 3 weeks that I was off work was a really difficult time. I didn't really do much because I couldn't do very much at that time. And the only positive thing that happened, which was a really big positive thing, was by some miracle, and I would genuinely call it a miracle, I managed to get a new job. And it was an amazing job, and I managed to muster up every bit of energy I had to go to an interview, even though I had a massive headache, and I felt quite peaceful about it. I felt like it was the right thing, and I managed to get this job, which meant I could remove myself from that stressful situation, and then from that point, things started to get a bit better. I had some great people around me, and I just met Tabz at this point, and life was a little bit up and down, because when you start to get anxious, it's not something that just kind of stops. I had these difficult periods of anxiety and periods where I didn't really feel it at all. I have different worry themes that I kind of categorize things into. And so over the years, I've worried about mainly 3 different things. So as an adult, I had some worries about money, because that was something I didn't really have to deal with when I was younger. I had some worries about my health, because if anything felt remotely wrong, I would be like, something's really wrong with me. And that was kind of difficult because I would panic about that quite a bit. And then the other one was safety. So for some reason, I am one of those people that locks their doors and checks it multiple times and then leaves and thinks, oh no, did I check the door? And I still had those worry themes weaving kind of in and out life until the point where myself and Tabz got married. And when we got married, it was just such a big change. It was exciting, but it was a massive change because I changed jobs, I moved house. I not only moved house, I moved to a different town. I changed churches, and I'd been in the church I was in for many years, since I was a child. And the big change of getting married, that was totally different living with him. And for me, it was so exciting, but so overwhelming being in that massively different situation. But I was still doing okay. I was still, able to manage my anxiety quite well and deal with any worries that came in, not too bad a way. Did quite well. And I had some great people around me and made some great friends. But then again, I came into a stressful situation again. But this time, it wasn't a situation I could just remove myself from. It wasn't as easy as that. And so I found myself struggling to sleep. On multiple occasions, I struggled to sleep, and then the next day I was grumpy and I just wanted to eat everything because I was tired. I just needed sugar, and I struggled. I probably wasn't the best person to be around at that time. But then I found that I was not sleeping night after night after night for at least a week. And I really found that difficult. And at the end of that week, we were going away to like a retreat type conference place, and we're having 24 hours away, and I was looking forward to it, but I was a bit worried that I wouldn't sleep and wouldn't be able to talk to anyone or do anything. And that evening I had some chest pains, and my breathing was like all over the place. I was struggling to get the breaths in, and I was shaking, like uncontrollably shaking. Like I couldn't do anything about it, I was just shaking. And so I phoned 111, the non-emergency medical line, and I explained what was happening, and they said, you need to go to A&E. You know, I mentioned chest pains, they're gonna send me to A&E. So I went to A&E, and they have some lovely doctors there who really kindly shared with me that there was nothing wrong with my body, but I'd had a panic attack. And I was like, whoa, so that's what it feels like. Like some people have described before, like it feeling like you were really, really in a bad place. And you were, somebody had even said, you know, I felt like I was gonna die. And I was like, that sounds really extreme. But I kind of got that. Like I felt like there was something really, really wrong with me. And there was nothing wrong with my body, but my mind was panicking. And my mind was struggling with anxiety. And when I got back home, I was like, this cannot continue. Like, I need to do whatever I can to get myself into a place where I'm doing better, because that was awful. And I would not like that to happen again if I can do anything at all to help myself. So I went to see a counsellor, and that was amazing. Having somebody there who could just be there for me, nothing else. They're not gonna like sit there and give me advice when they don't have a clue what they're talking about, and you know, people that are gonna say, oh, it's okay, don't worry about it, and you're like, no, that's not the response. It was somebody who was there just for me to listen. They just listened to me. They helped me to get out how I was feeling and the things that were going on, and to process it all myself, and help me to process that. And it was brilliant. Absolutely loved it, and highly recommend that. And so gradually I managed to get more well in myself. I managed to be less anxious over time because I put some different things in place to help me. And I find now, a few years later, I'm feeling a lot better. I am able to generally manage anxiety quite well. I still have ups and downs, and I'm okay with that because I know much better how to deal with that. I very rarely feel panic attacks coming along, and when I feel like they're coming, I now know how to calm them down. And I'm going to share some of those things with you about how I've managed to help my anxiety and how I've managed to do things for myself, and also who I've gone to for extra help.
Wow, Hettie, that was really brave of you to share your story like that. And I think myself and the others, everyone viewing this, would really want to thank you for how vulnerable you were. But you said at the end that there was a few things that you found help you day to day to get through each day with anxiety. And I wondered if you could maybe share some of those with us. Let us in on the secrets.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I put them into 5 different groups. So 5 points that I found helped me. Number 1 is getting out and active.
Good.
So it is good for our mental health to be able to go and do something physically active. Doctors and scientists have said so. So whatever you enjoy doing that's physical, football, getting out skateboarding, walking, whatever it is, do it. It'll make your head feel better.
Brilliant.
Number 2, making friends with salad.
Making friends with salad.
Yes. Hear me out.
Like the Simpsons episode.
Hear me out. Yeah, Homer Simpson says, "You don't make friends with salad. You don't make friends with salad." He don't quite mean it this way.
You do.
Yeah, I find some foods, and this is also scientifically proven, some foods help your mind and some don't. So for me, eating lots of sugary processed food, not good for me, makes me feel down, but eating vegetables and fruit and things that are really good for me make me feel good, so I tend to do that more.
That's great. I now feel really guilty for all those primary school assemblies I've ever done where I've just given sweets out as prizes. Terrible.
Very terrible. Bad influence.
Point 3.
Point 3 is my faith. So I am a Christian, and I've found that for me personally, praying, which is simply talking to God in the times where I'm feeling really anxious, has really helped me just to get it out and say what I need to say without being interrupted like some people do. And I found it really helpful for me to focus on God and tell him what's going on, and I feel quite a lot of peace in that. And there's certain little snippets from the Bible that I've saved onto my phone that I read in times where I'm really struggling that really, really help me personally.
That's great, that's really good. Number 4?
Number 4 is resting positively. So as you know, my previous way of resting when I was feeling really anxious and like, what I would do is I would put on an episode of something and another one, and another one, and that screen would pop up where it would say, "Hettie, are you still watching?" And I'd be like, "Oh, I am still watching." But now I try not to do that as much because I know that that's not the best way for me to rest. It doesn't make me feel good afterwards. Whereas going for a walk, reading, listening to an audiobook, hanging out with friends, playing a game, loads of things that I can do that make me feel better once I've done it, make me feel more rested. So resting positively.
Brilliant, resting positively. Okay, go on then, let us in on the last one.
Last one, really important. Number 5, chatting it out. So when I ever share with you how I'm feeling and what my worries are, you don't even always need to say anything. Like sometimes I say it out loud and it just sounds ridiculous, and I'm like, yeah,
I don't know what you mean.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen. Like, right. So then it really, really does help. Whereas sometimes what I need is to chat it out, say to someone I'm struggling because I need a hug, or I need them to distract me. Perhaps we could go out for a walk, we could do something nice together to distract me from what I'm thinking about. But also, obviously, there's other people we can talk to.
Yeah.
So I mentioned that I went to see a counsellor, and somebody at home or a doctor can help you to find a counsellor if you perhaps need one, or texting Young Minds. Like they can talk to you at any time. You can speak to a counsellor on Childline. You can go on there, or you can phone up and you can speak to someone. And making sure that if you don't feel great, you go for some help. So I went to a doctor to get some time off work. I went to a counsellor. I've spoken to friends. And also the Lily Joe project online will help you to find ways that you can help yourself, because that's a lot of what I did.
Brilliant.
Is learning to help myself.
Great, Hettie, thank you so much for all those tips. If any of those tips have been useful for you, please do let us know in the comments below this video, and do drop a like for Hettie sharing her story. We're going to share some more stories over the coming weeks. Some of our friends and myself we'll share some of our stories about some big issues with mental health related topics and things like that, just to help anyone else out there. But the important thing to remember, I would say, is that worry and anxious thoughts and feelings can affect anyone. And all of us will experience that, because it's normal to experience that at some point. The important thing is recognising when that level of anxiety reaches a point where you need some outside help, where you really need to do something because it's gone beyond healthy. And so some of those things that Hettie shared have been really useful, and if we were in a school, we could perhaps be people that you could come and talk to, but we're not in a school at the moment, we're on YouTube. So What we would say is don't go trying to contact us necessarily, but do check out some of those resources that Hettie's recommended. Our friends locally at Philippi Christian Counselling is where we've gone for a lot of support and help and training and things, and so we would highly recommend them if you're Southport based as well. So hopefully that's been a helpful video for you in school today. It is a shortened version of our longer video on YouTube, on our YouTube channel Safe Space Southport, which has loads of fun stuff on there that you can go check out, go subscribe, go like some things, comment and all that kind of stuff. Otherwise, we will hopefully see you in another lesson soon in school. Bye!
Bye!